another new video here for you. This is Tuned In Sports, back with another video. My name's Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Don.
And his phone is still on, and we're back with some more action for you. This is the Week 3 NFL preview coming at you. And you know, about as fast as we're getting into Week 3 is about how excited I am for this upcoming week. We got some exciting games, and sure to be some heartbreaks sitting amongst the channel here. So, you know, with that being said, I don't know. I feel like that's what the NFL season is for a lot of us most years. But, you know, nonetheless, we sit here and we record anyways. So, like we always say, you know, it makes for better content when our teams suck. So, anyways, you know, with that being said, though, we're going to be hopping into some football action. And got a lot to talk about. So let's hop into our first game. We got Baltimore taking on Detroit is the first game that I'm seeing slated here for 10 o'clock on Sunday, or 1 o'clock Eastern time, or whatever the hell it is. So yeah, Detroit's got a home game against Baltimore this week. And what are we all thinking about it?
Nice job, Joe.
Well, I'll go ahead and start this party. I think we're looking at another rough week for the Lions. After last week, I don't see a whole lot of good coming this week. The schedule just doesn't seem to get any easier every week, so I see another loss coming. Looks like they're 8-point underdog in this game, home dog at that. But I don't know. They got some injuries. I don't think Williams is playing again this week. I thought I read something today where they're looking at possibly getting rid of Collins. And he's one of our linebackers. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. But I'm expecting a loss, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, as for my opinion, I would probably agree. You know, Ravens are coming off a big win against the Chiefs last week. You know, I'm pretty sure that was actually a bounce back win because they lost to the Raiders week 1. So, you know, that was a big win for them. And, you know, Detroit coming off a pretty bad loss to Green Bay. You know, at least in the second half. I mean, they were in the game in the first half, but still, you know, the Ravens are playing pretty hot right now, so I fully expect them to continue that trend. So, yeah, I'll have to take the Ravens in this one, unfortunately.
Let's see, Adam Schefter over here getting all the buzzes over here, text messages. Let's get your breaking news.
Yeah.
So yeah, with this breaking is I don't think it's gonna be earth-shattering. Is I think Ravens are gonna win, just because you know, look at the films. It's just Detroit is in that spot where they're, you know, wounded animal per se, right? You know, there's things going down, and it's just not really advantageous for victories right now. But we'll see how they play. They're at home, right? If I remember right. So
Yeah, they are.
So maybe they can get some little Harball of magic this weekend, you know. But we'll see.
One way or another, they'll be getting Harbaugh's magic.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just a matter of which one.
Exactly. You can't let that open.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kind of see how you would take it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't see much of a chance for the Lions.
Yeah, I'm really going to go out on a limb here and say the Ravens are going to win this game. Yeah, just unfortunately, as much as, you know, the fan in us would love to be able to say, yeah, well, the Lions are going to take this one. I haven't seen the Ravens do anything that would suggest the Lions are going to win, and conversely, I haven't seen the Lions do anything that would tell me the Lions are going to win. So put those two things together, and it equals a Lions loss. Unfortunately, I mean, let's be honest though. I mean, they don't have the talent to compete with the Ravens here. They don't have the defense that's going to stop the run. I mean, if you watched last game, Aaron Jones or Adam Jones or whatever the hell that running back for the Packers was, all over the damn field. Every time he touched the ball, it was 9 yards. And if they thought that was atrocious with Green Bay, wait till Baltimore gets a hold of them. So, I mean, it just not the time for Detroit to be able to compete with a team like Baltimore, unfortunately. I'm not saying they can't. Well, okay, let's put it this way: not the time for Detroit to be beating a team like Baltimore. Compete, we'll see. But my guess would be that this game won't be very close. If you had to put my feet to the fire, I don't think it'll be close. But there's a chance that they could stick around. But nonetheless, they don't have enough to beat the Ravens right now. These are two teams in two completely different ends of the spectrum in terms of aspirations and what their future looks like come playoff time. Come playoff time. But
Playoff?
Yeah, exactly.
Playoff?
Exactly, and that's a pretty fitting statement because that's about what the Lions are saying. Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? But anyways, it's unfortunate, but I don't think it should surprise anybody. And honestly, if anyone's upset with that, then, you're not being realistic with where they're at and what the expectation should be for this season. So I think, honestly, what would be nice for the Lions is just to see maybe some improvements in the running game, or maybe Goff have a better game, or defensive line maybe not stop the run but put out a nice effort. You know what I mean? Just small victories, because I don't think they're winning the game, but you'd like to see some growth and some team development and some team building going on, even if they can't win the game. I think that's the main hope for this. So, all right, let's move on to the next game, shall we? Next up, we got Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. So we're staying in the AFC North here. We got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on their long-lost lovers, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if Bennett wasn't excited enough about watching the Ravens in that last game, then you can imagine his excitement to watch the Steelers this week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from a defensive standpoint, I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. I mean, I just read today that through the first 2 weeks we're top 10 rated defense. So yeah. I can't complain there. And unfortunately we're going through some injuries. We got T. Higgins, he didn't practice today. Xavier Suafilo, one of our O-linemen, is going to be out. But you know what? That just creates an opportunity for Jackson Carman, the rookie, to step in. I'm kind of interested to see how he'll play when he gets the chance. So, I think this will be an interesting game, mainly on the fact that both these teams are pretty banged up for the most part right now. So, and it's just a big divisional game because, Bengals win this one, they're 2-1. Steelers win this one, they're 2-1, or, vice versa, 1-2. I mean, you don't generally want to be on the losing side when it comes to divisional games. So,
I love it.
But nonetheless, I don't necessarily see us winning this one just because it's in Pittsburgh. But I'm looking for some improvement on the offensive line. Mm-hmm. And if we can keep Joe upright, then I give us a shot to win it. But if we can't, then it's going to be just like last week against the Bears, where we're having to scrape our way back in the second half. So, yeah, that's basically my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think with this game, there's so many question marks on both sides. Who's going to play, who's not going to play, how they're going to play. Mm-hmm. it's the typical NFC North game. It's typical Steelers Bengals. So who knows? I probably just don't see Pittsburgh losing 2 home games in a row. So I would probably have to lean the edge to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good assessment of it. Both teams are coming in hobbling a little bit. Being that it's in Pittsburgh, it's a home game, I think that probably does give them an edge for sure. And just judging by from what I saw last week, they gotta clean up some things on the offensive side of the ball, meaning Cincinnati, that is. So hopefully the offensive line will get it together, and then Burrow just needs to play mistake-free football. I think the Bengals are similar to a lot of teams in this league where you got enough talent to play with anybody, but you're not good enough as a team yet to afford mistakes and be able to overcome them very easily. If the defense can play solid, and I think this is another one of those games where I think if Cincinnati can get to 24 points, I think they got a real good chance to win it with the way their defense is playing. So, but I'm going to lean towards the Pittsburgh side as well. I just think it's going to be a tough place to play this week. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really have anything else to add. I'm taking Pittsburgh for a multitude of reasons, one of them being, like Don said, them losing 2 home games in a row, back-to-back weeks, doesn't usually happen too often. Also, you take into account the history with the Steelers and the Bengals. The Bengals haven't had a ton of success against the Steelers as of late. I realized that they beat them last year once, but I think generally I would just say that the Steelers are a better football team right now, and I think that they're going to be a team to contend with. And I think regardless of where the game is played, I think after last week's disappointing performance against the Raiders, I think Tomlin will get the crew ready to play this week, especially against a division opponent. And I think they'll be coming out looking to, put some, remove some doubt from some people that, are questioning them after last week. So with that being said, like you said, I think that I don't think there's going to be a ton of points scored in this game. I think it'll be a relatively defensive matchup. And I would agree, if some team was able to get to like 24, I think that would be enough to win. I don't know if that will be the Bengals or the Steelers. I'm going to lean more towards the Steelers winning this one. But I think it's going to be a pretty defensive battle. And like you said, Bennett, look for the Bengals to hopefully improve on some things and just compete.
Yeah.
Not get wiped off the face of the earth or anything like that. Not play a perfect game, but just compete and improve on some things that they've been struggling with.
I mean, though, like, if they could pull out a win, though, that would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it wouldn't get any bigger than that in terms of games that we could win towards the beginning of the season being 1-1. I don't think you could ask for a better team to beat in week 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Plus, it's a divisional game, so
yeah, I mean, so
And a road game.
yeah, so I mean, I'm keeping my hopes up, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next game. We've got a 1:00 or 4:00 on the East Coast with the Denver Broncos at home against the Jets. And I'll go ahead and go first on this one because honestly I don't have a whole lot to say outside of I expect to see more of what we've seen the last handful of weeks. If you're the Broncos and you're trying to show that you're more than just, a team that hasn't played anybody, well, you need to continue to whoop up on the teams that are considered teams that are not good. And I expect them to do that. Zach Wilson, I'm not necessarily sold on the idea that he's, a goodwill quarterback destined to be a bench player or anything like that. I don't think he's been there long enough. But with that being said, he has been throwing some interceptions this season. And with that Denver defense rolling into town, let's just say I couldn't ask for a better team to have on my fantasy, which I have. So I will definitely be starting them this week because I think they'll be good for a couple picks at least. And I think the Broncos should roll through this week. I'm actually going to say this one is going to be a 20-point victory. And, that's saying a lot because that means Denver is actually going to get over 20 points. And I'm not guaranteeing a shutout, but I think Denver will win by 20 plus. And I think that they should. I mean, don't get me wrong. Any team in the NFL is still a professional football team, but I just think that, Denver's at a point where they're improving on offense. Their defense has never been in question. They're going up against a rookie who, let's be fair, is struggling a little bit so far. That's not to say that he won't improve or that it's not okay for him to struggle. I mean, he's on the Jets and he's a rookie, so you're going to have your slumps. But, with all that in mind, he's been struggling a little bit, and Denver's next level defensively. And then, offensively, they've been getting it figured out too. So, I mean, I don't think it's asking too much for them to win this game by a lump sum, to be honest with you. And, they are playing at home as well. If it was going down in New York, then I'd be a little bit worried about some people tearing MCLs and, twisting ankles and stuff like that at MetLife Stadium or whatever the hell the name of the Jets field is, that crap hole. But nonetheless, since they're in Denver, I look for a 20-plus point victory here, and I don't think this game will ever be in question. So hopefully they can come through.
Yeah, I kind of follow in the same lines. I mean, purely just off of what he was talking about with Mr. Zach Wilson, the rookie quarterback, who's been throwing quite a few picks these first couple games this season. And the defense isn't getting any easier going to Denver. So, I look for him to have another crappy game. I mean, we'll see what happens, but just purely off of that, I would go Broncos to win it.
Yeah, you're not going to get an argument out of me on that one. I mean, it's just a tough spot for the kid. I don't fall in line with the idea that he's just going to keep throwing pick after pick after pick all the time. I mean, I think he's going to learn, and start protecting the ball a little bit better, but this may not be the week that happens.
I agree, just not this week. This won't be the week that stops.
No, just because Denver's, tough defensively. But I think Chubb's out, so that might have some impact. But still, it's still not going to be in question this game. I'm looking at this game finishing like 24-3 or maybe 7, something like that. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be another one of those games where Bridgewater goes out and plays a boring game, but effective game, and they score points. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be exactly what Denver needs. Just be steady. Get to that 24-point number, which is what we're talking about, right? So, and I think they'll do that here. And I just see it to be a pretty easy victory. They'll be coasting.
Yeah, I was going to say this ends our New England Tampa Bay scheduling for the year. We actually have to play some regular teams now after this. So we'll see what we can do. First home opener, so hopefully Broncos country is ready to bring the noise, which I'm sure they will. Mm-hmm. Mr. Wilson going from Belichick into the Fangio grinder isn't the optimal scheduling for him. So this will be hopefully another tough week. But surprising things happen. So he'll probably go out and throw for 400. The way it usually works, right?
Oh yeah.
No, there's no chance. And oh, hey, look at him. But yeah, hopefully they'll shut them down early and often, and then be able to convert turnovers into points, hopefully touchdowns, and then just grind them out and send them home, and then get ready for Baltimore next week. So yeah, hopefully they get in the 30s. I hope.
Yeah.
For this team, and then hopefully the defense will keep them under 13 or 14. I hope. Yeah, like you said, Chubb's out, but I know the local product, Malik Reed, has filled in very well for him from Nevada. He's been a stud for them too. And then we'll see more of the defensive line depth. We did lose Jewell for the season, so there goes the middle linebacker spot, which I know is already a weak spot normally. So we'll see who fills that in. I know there's a couple of guys. I think we got one guy off the Rams from them, and I think we signed another linebacker. So hopefully we'll be able to plug somebody into that position to get some depth. But again, that will be a big hurt on that. But we'll see who steps up as usual. So hopefully, yeah, go Broncos.
Yeah, no blunders from the special team unit this week.
Yeah,
please.
exactly. Screwing up the score. Nice in the single digits. No.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, so clean sweep for Denver, clean sweep for Baltimore, unfortunately, and clean sweep for Pittsburgh, unfortunately. Let's move on to the Eagles. They are going to be featured in their own separate video this week, just like the Lions were last week, because they get the distinct honor of gracing everyone's television with another NFC East battle against against the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium this week, taking on the Cowboys, who are coming off a interesting game against the LA Chargers last week. So and you know, the Eagles are coming off an interesting game in their own right. I don't know. You know, some might call it something other than interesting, but, you know, we'll just leave that for the viewer discretion. But, yeah, so what are we thinking about this Eagles game? I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts, honestly.
I think myself for this game, I think we're going to see if who's going to be for real in this division. I think Dallas coming off last week, I think they found a number 2/number 1 running back after this weekend.
Yeah.
I think Elliott better watch out, because he might get replaced here real fast.
Yeah.
If he's not too careful. Offensive line, you know, seemed to gel, and again was able to, you know, make big holes for both running backs. The offense looks decent, and surprising with all the injuries, the defense was able to hold, you know, the Chargers for most of the game. You know, with little blips here and there, which would be expected, especially with the depletion of the roster on there. And then we go to the other side with the Eagles, which are they? Are they the team against the Falcons, or are they team, you know, with the Niners? You know, we don't know how the Niners are. So, I mean, because they've had, you know, close games now with the Eagles and the Lions, right? So, and then their running backs, speaking of running backs, they're just decimated.
Yeah.
I don't think they have anybody pretty much on that roster that's pretty decent for the 49ers. So I just don't know how to gauge the Eagles just yet, and I think because since Dallas is at home Monday night, I think I'm going to take the Cowboys on this one.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna be a little bit different and go with the Eagles for just the weird feeling that I'm getting that they are going to win this game. Just for whatever reason, I'm just kind of leaning towards.
Drink.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, as much as I enjoy that, those weird feelings have usually led to me leaning over the toilet later that night, like, what the hell was I thinking?
Well,
puking my guts out. So,
I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of Hurts.
Pouring it back.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hurts so far. I think he's something special, but I mean, so is Dak. So it's gonna be a pretty good game. I think. I don't see either of these teams like outplaying one another. Like I see this being like right down till the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just generally how these Eagles-Cowboys games are. Like, for the most part. I mean, I remember the frickin' one when Deshaun Jackson, was that against the Redskins or was that the Cowboys? I thought that was the Cowboys. The one when he ran it back in the final seconds for the touchdown on the punt return.
I thought that was the Giants.
Wait, oh yeah. Okay, I got it all mixed up, but still, I'm feeling,
I don't know.
for whatever reason, I'm feeling good about the Eagles.
I just remember him going off to the sideline, with pulling a hamstring and pulling that and yanking the chain of all the fans. So anyway,
I think I'm gonna say that Eagles will get a surprising victory this week.
Awesome. One more sip for the road, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I won't be sounding too crazy if they win.
Hey,
Well,
that's a good point.
I think this is. I think this is just going to come down to who can score more points, which obviously all games do. But and I just don't see the Eagles being able to keep up with them. I think the Cowboys have a few too many weapons, and like Don said about the running game, seems like the Cowboys are getting that figured out. Maybe to the detriment of Elliott, but definitely things are going in the right direction there, and they do look like a pretty sound football team. Even in the loss that they had, they look good. So I think the Cowboys are going to be in it till the end with for the end of the season even. I think the NFC East is going through them. So I do look for it to be a very good game, though. I think the Eagles can play with them. I just don't think they're going to have enough firepower to stay in it till the very end.
Well, all I can say is pass that drink because the Eagles are going to lose this week, and I'm going to need a little bit more than just my wits and good looks to get me through it. Because honestly, it's going to be painful. I'm going to be sitting here on Monday night, after a disappointing loss, just relishing the times when we've actually beat the Cowboys, and knowing that this wasn't the time, because I don't see it happening where we beat the Cowboys here. As a fan, just like I said last week with the 49ers, I was all excited after week 1, and it got me so excited that I took the Eagles against the 49ers last week with that feeling in my gut. And like I said, that feeling in my gut came back a few hours later, and turned out to be nothing more than bad piece of porridge. But I mean, at the end of the day, Dallas, I think they're the team to beat in this division this year. I think they've got it going on, and on offense, I think Dak is. I picked him in my fantasy league because I had a feeling that he was going to come back with vengeance this year, and before he got hurt last year, they had like the number 1 ranked offense or something like that before he got injured last year, and I truly believe that he's going to keep that going. I truly believe he's one of the more underappreciated quarterbacks in this league, and I think that he's a really good player, and I think he's going to show you why on Sunday, or Monday, excuse me. Now, with that being said, as far as the Eagles are concerned, I don't look for them to get creamed. I think they'll play a tough game here, but my main concern with the Eagles is just, are we going to be able to get past 17 points again this year? Because last week we didn't even make it past 12. I mean, we only made 11 points in the whole game last week against the Niners, no less, but still not even. I mean, just barely double digits. And that was only because when we went for it on a 2-point conversion, we got it. Had we missed that 2-point conversion, we would have we wouldn't have even made it to double digits last week. And to be honest with you, that's a concern that I have with the Eagles. I liked what I saw offensively week 1 against the Falcons, which, who wouldn't? We scored more points in that game than we had in 2 seasons worth of time. We hadn't scored over 30 in like 2 seasons until last week. Week 1 against the Falcons. So, it was good to see, good to root for. But with that being said, I think, last week was kind of a little dab of medicine for us. Like, hey, don't get used to this. And I think last week was a reminder of the misery that we went through last season. And unfortunately, I don't know. I have a feeling like not too much has changed. I like some of the ideas that Sirianni's had and some of the things that he's done thus far. And I think if we could just cut down on the penalties, then maybe we could see it executed better. But, when our offensive line is amassing 7-8 penalties a game, well, you're going to have a hard time. So, with that being said, I really look for the Eagles. What I want to see from them, and, if you've been following this channel for a while, I'm sure it'll probably take you back by surprise here. But what I'm looking for from the Eagles is for them to watch the tape and just see what they did last week, or for a better word, see what they didn't do last week, come out and improve on those things. I don't want to see another 3-point first half. I don't want to see another, come out looking like all hands on deck and then can't score a point in the second half until it doesn't mean anything. I don't want to see stupid play calling in terms of analytics. Wow, shocker there too, huh? Mm-hmm. I'm kind of tired of the whole analytics thing, whether it be coaching to win or the systems. Toss them both in the bin. I don't want to see anything dealing with analytics and going for it when I deem it unnecessary. Don't get me wrong, I understand if it works, you look like a genius. But in our history and what I've watched these last couple seasons, it never works. So I don't want to see it. Point blank. Unless it's like you have to do it. And very few times have I felt that to be the case with this team. So I'm just saying I want to see them improve in areas that they've struggled this past week. I'd like to see better offensive line play. I'd like to see them continue to stick with the running game. And I'd also like to see them attack with the deep ball more, but not have guys step out of bounds going to catch it. Like Jalen Reagor did last week. So I want to see them improve, but defensively, I think the defensive line is really, really good this year, and we played really well against the Niners. That was one of the bright spots in that game. Our defensive line played tough the whole way through. Now, with that being said, just in closing, Brandon Graham, our defensive end, went out with an injury. He's gone for the season. And that's a big loss because he's one of the cogs, as Don always says, on our line. And so not having him is going to be interesting to say the least. But we have a good working relationship with O'Reilly Auto Parts. So I'm sure we could probably run in there, grab a few guys to fill the position, and we'll be just fine. So, with that being said, Cowboys are going to win this game. It's going to suck. It's going to be painful. I'm not going to want to wake up the next morning, and I'm going to go to bed with a bad taste in my mouth. But I got to keep in mind, last year this was a 4-win and 1-tie team, and to expect that just because we were able to beat the piss out of the Falcons doesn't mean that we're suddenly Super Bowl bound. And so with that being said, we're going to lose this week, and just got to accept it, that it's just not, we're not there yet. Like I said with the Bengals, I'm not, and even with the Lions, I'm not looking for a victory. I'm looking for small victories. I'm looking for improvement here and there, team building, tape watching, and just smart play calling. Not putting us in situations where we're increasing our chances to lose, but making the most of situations and just making the right football play, even if it doesn't necessarily mean that we're guaranteeing ourselves a win. Make the right football play and just realize that this isn't the year for us. So that's what I'd like to see from the Eagles. We'll see what happens, though. Ideally, you check out our show on Sunday night or Monday morning, whichever, and, there'll be 3 wins with a 4th one following it up. Realistically, as you've seen from our picks, it'll probably be 1 win and 1 win and 2 losses leading into a 3rd. So, that's just the way it is here at Tuned In Sports. Thanks for watching and joining us in the misery. We appreciate all the subscribers. We appreciate all the people that have spent time checking us out, watching our videos, listening to us yap, complain, and everything like that. Thank you guys so much for your support. And, expect more content coming soon to the channel. And, we got lots of exciting stuff coming. And just a non-ending roll that we're on here. And we're just going to keep plowing. So, with that being said, guys, Bryson,
Bennett,
Steve.
I'm done.
See you guys in the next video.